Hey guys, Dan with SWI. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to show you how to install a 6-foot tall white closed top picket semi-privacy fence. Vinyl. Did I forget vinyl? There was a lot there that I said. Oh, it's going to have a concrete mow curb underneath it too. This thing is just, there's a lot of knowledge to be taken in here. And we're going to show you how to do everything step by step and all the products and tools that we're going to use to do this. So, what are we going to use to get all this done? We're going to use some really big sandbox-like equipment. So we got this giant excavator over here. We got this giant walk-behind skid steer. We want to show you guys that you don't need excessively huge equipment to do something like this. This is going to be a really good example of a DIY project. And you can easily rent stuff like this. You wouldn't be able to haul both of them at the same time behind a Toyota Prius, but I think you could haul one at a time behind a Toyota Prius. You might have to install the hitch first before you do that. So in the beginning step of doing this, we're going to use our string line, about maybe 1,200 feet of orange string on this. There might even be just a little bit more. The nice thing about this string versus traditional string is there's not as much give, so therefore you don't have to pull it as much to get it tight when you're running a string for something such as like this. If you're looking for a high class, high quality string line and reel, follow the link for this one. The nice thing about this reel is it is geared, so there's an additional couple gears in here that help you to wind it up even faster. Or if you're looking for electric fence, you can also use that reel for this as well. Now, to mark all this stuff out, to mark our dig area of where we're going to go ahead and dig, we're going to use pink paint. I don't know how many times we have used paint in our videos, but I don't think that we've ever actually classified why we use pink paint. Have we?
Let's talk about paint color. And this is our pink paint. Love the pink paint. The white mark right here is where we told the locators where our fence was going to be going.
The reason that we use pink is because all the other colors, all the other cool colors are taken. Red is power, orange is phone, fiber, data, anything like that. Yellow is gas, green is sewer, blue is water, white is locate here, and pink, there's no good utility for pink. Pink is not taken. And if you're looking for pink paint, follow the link below. This mow curb is going to be 12 inches wide. Our post measures 5 inches wide, so our posts are 5 by 5, and we're going to put that fence right in the center of that mow strip. We're going to set this string up, marking the outside edge of that form. So we're going to go through, we're going to mark the outside edge, we're going to mark the inside edge to get our path of where we need to dig with our little Tonka excavator over there. Okay, that's enough talking. We want our post to sit right there. So we're gonna come over just a little bit. Whatever side your string is on is gonna be the inside edge of your form. So we're gonna go 3.5 inches and we're gonna drive that stake right there. Hook our string up. So we're just gonna go ahead and try to run our new fence and our concrete mow strip right in between these two sprinklers. And for our stakes, we don't use anything fancy. We just use farm stakes. You can use a piece of rebar. We just have found that these are easier to use. Just metal concrete farm stakes. That's what we like to use to run our string. Since I'm using this side of the stake, that is going to be the outside of my concrete, but the inside of my outside form. So confusing. I love to just confuse everybody. And puts us like, hold on, what is that? That's 3.5 inches. Math is hard. So if we put our post right here, that would mean that we would need 8.5 inches. So we want to be sitting about right there. As I just pulled that string out, I got that much slack out of it, and my string's pretty decently tight. If I was using just a standard string, I would have pulled 3 times that much. Okay, so there is the outside of our concrete. We can either measure and put some dashes of where the inside concrete's going to be, which is probably what we're going to go ahead and do, so that way we can get this done a little bit quicker and we don't need to set up that inside string just yet. What we're going to do is we're going to take our pink paint, mark some dashes on the ground of where we want to go ahead and excavate. Now our gas company, they're nowhere near us, but they felt the need to go ahead and let us know where their utility is. Right here, there's a gas line right here. So we're not going to put a post right here. We're going to keep our posts over there. But we know that we're safe. You don't have to do one continuous string of paint by the time you get to the end of this 36-foot run. Hey, get me another can of paint because I'm out and I used it all. You're doing it wrong. You don't need much. If you are working around sprinkler heads, it is a good idea to go ahead and mark them. So right here we're going to have just a little bit of a conflict. We're going to be really tight on that sprinkler head. So we're going to have to be really careful when we dig this one in, just so that way we don't try not to damage that head and the homeowner can go ahead and relocate it to where they want it to be. All we're going to do now is we're going to measure off that string 12 inches. We're going to put a couple dots. So if you can walk a semi-straight line, just try to connect those dots. That's all we need to give us a general idea of where we're going to dig at. Also, a hintful fact that I didn't tell you.
A what fact?
A hintful. So a helpful fact, when we went and picked up this excavator that we're going to use, we did go ahead and get a 12-inch wide bucket to put on it. So we don't need a ton of paint on the ground because we already have kind of a guide to go off of. But do keep in mind, even though that bucket is 12 inches, that's how wide our concrete's going to be. We're going to have to go just a little bit wider for that form. So we're going to have to go 3 inches wider on our excavation to get that 2x4 in there. So I was telling you about the orange nylon string that we have in stock versus your traditional string that you can go down to your local lumber yard, Lowe's, Home Depot, and purchase. I mean, it's a great string. If you're only going to do it one time, yeah, absolutely, this is definitely the way to go. But if you're a contractor and you're continuously getting out your string to lay out your fence lines, or even if you're using a string to set them, this is 10 times easier to see. It's a lot easier to see if you're straight, because once you start putting a lot of intermediate stakes in between your termination points, it's harder to see if you have a little bit of a bow in that string. With this, we're not going to set up a laser level, and we're not going to keep everything the same elevation all the way across. Because it's a fence combined with a mow curb, they're going to follow each other with the average of the ground. If there's a dip in the ground, a pretty drastic dip, we're not going to go through that dip, we're going to go straight across it. As far as depth, we're just going to go about 4 inches deep. We're going to try not to go any farther than 4 inches, and then we're going to come back and we're going to dig the post separately. I'm trying to. I need to change the controls so that way I know how to run it. Gotta lift up the back. And this little guy right here, we're gonna turn him. You're not digging to China. Take out what you need. If you dig more than what you need, you're either going to have to fill that all back in with concrete or put the dirt back and compact it. So try to keep everything uniform. Yeah, you like this wheelbarrow? It's pretty good, huh? It's not just your average ordinary wheelbarrow. It's high class right here. If you want to see more about this wheelbarrow, we've got a video up here on the corner. It really makes me feel like the king of the sandbox, knowing that my excavator is just a little bit bigger than the one that you sit on at the park. If only I had a motorized dump truck. All right, so now that we got this strip dug out, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and lay out our holes right now. So that way we don't have forms set. We're trying to sneak an auger in there, hoping that the auger's not gonna catch a form and jerk it right out of the ground. We're gonna go start marking out our posts, go from there. "38 feet 6 inches. And there's no gates on this run. And your last one, your next one is 38 5 7/8. Should be right there in the center of that trench. Yay! Should you be in the market for a 300-foot tape? I've been through quite a few 300-foot tapes. The DeWalt ones, I love DeWalt, but I've found that the Milwaukee one is better. And if you're looking for 300-foot tape, follow the link below. We use these all the time, and they have never let us down. So since that tape was already out, all we did is we moved that tape to the center line where the fence is going to go. So we moved it to the center point of that trench, and we're going to make the crosshairs so that we know where the center point of that hole is, so that we can go ahead and start drilling those holes. Instead of getting out a string, we just went ahead and multi-used the tape and used that as a straight line. He's going to go ahead and drill that hole, and the spoils are going to go ahead and shoot out into the trench, and they're going to stick to the auger itself. We're going to go 32 inches in the ground to get below frost line. When you dig that hole, if you're using an auger, you got to make sure to get all that loose dirt out of there, because if you don't get that loose dirt out of there, what's going to happen is that post, because of that concrete, the weight of that concrete, it's going to naturally settle. So eventually over time, that post is going to fall, and your fence is going to look really nice, and then it's going to have a dip at that post for that one hole that you didn't clean out. So make sure and get all that disturbed soil out of there. So in doing this, it's not a bad idea to go ahead and leave a little bit of dirt. So don't haul off all of it off, so that way when you get ready to set these forms that go here, you can fill that in between the outside of the form and the inside of the trench. Or the other benefit to having it is when those forms come out, you need to fill that trench in to make everything to go back to normal and to dress it up and to make it look right. Just go ahead and save some of that dirt and fill that cavity in just a little bit.